Virgo, having to walk away from a painful ending. So let's see what comes next for you this week. Okay, Virgo. So I can see that recently you've had to walk away from a painful situation. Um, you had the Eight of Cups with the Ten of Swords. So, there was obviously a painful ending or betrayal that happened that caused you to walk away from this. And what's sad is that I can see that this was a connection that you had built a very solid foundation with. This was someone that you had built a home with, right? And it was a connection of like passion. Like you both had a lot of passion for each other. Um, and your overall energy was the Six of Cups. So, like, that tells me like this was a soulmate connection, right? However, we have to remember that we have a lot of soulmates. At least that's what I believe. I think people come and go in our lives for certain lessons, and unfortunately, those lessons kind of suck. Um, but they end up, building us up as individuals and teaching us boundaries and all kinds of other major things that we need to learn before we can be with that person that we're with for 30 years, if that's what you choose, right? Um, but yeah, I can see that you've recently chosen, or you will this week, to walk away from this, to walk away from this foundation and home that you guys have built. Um, it doesn't really seem to slow you down though, which is great to see because your energy is the Oracle of Pentacles. So you're very much focused on, having a really good home and financial balance right now. You're worried about manifesting your money and your abundance. And I think, this is a choice for you to walk away from this, right? Because we all have choices to either work on it with these individuals or walk away. And I think you were choosing, to walk away. And because of that choice, it brings a shift for you. And it's bringing in an offer. I don't really know what the offer is because Spirit did not, you know, divulge on what that is, but I can see that you have the Hanged Man and the Champion of Cups. So there's a shift in perspective for you when this message or offer comes in. Now, this also could be an apology that's coming in from this individual that brings in a shift in perspective, but I do see, something coming in that does bring that mental shift for you, right? And, for you, it seems like you made this choice because you want to shed the old. Like maybe a part of you that would have used to put up with this, you don't want to put up with it anymore, and you want to just focus on self and building your abundance and your success. And, walking away from this situation is going to allow for that new chapter to start for you. I'm curious to see if Spirit will tell us what that Champion of Cups is. Let's see. What is the Champion of Cups for Virgo this week? Guardian Angels. What is that Champion of Cups for Virgo this week? What is that Champion of Cups? Okay, wow. Yeah, so I think the Champion of Cups is just an apology coming in from that individual because when I asked Spirit what that Champion of Cups was, it just gave more detail on the connection and what's happened, really. So I think that's just that person coming in and apologizing, which does have a shift in perspective for you, right? Maybe it just causes like a weight off of your shoulders because even if we didn't do anything wrong and we did what was right for us, there's still that weird guilt that we feel for walking away from a connection or a person. So I think when they come in and they acknowledge their part, it brings in a shift for you, like mentally, right, and emotionally. Um, I can see that, what happened in this relationship brought a lot of heartbreak and pain for you, right? It was a betrayal. Maybe there was a third party, maybe you found out about cheating, and that's what caused you to be like, nope, I don't care what we've built. I'm walking away from this, right? Because you also had the Seven of Swords come out for this reading, which tells me deceit, lies, betrayal, sneaking around behind your back. Um, I think that's what you found out about. I think you found out that this person was not being honest with you. And as much as it hurt you, you chose yourself. And, you decided that you were going to take this relationship for the good and the bad and make the best of it, right? Because you have the Elder of Cups with the Two of Cups. It's like you had this beautiful union, but now that you've walked away from it, you're able to see like all the goods and bads in it. And you're like, I'm going to take this as a lesson. I'm going to take it for what it is. It was terrible how it ended, but it needed to, type of thing, right? Being able to like harmonize your emotions and understand, both aspects, both sides, and be able to learn from it, which is really awesome. Um, so yeah, like I see a lot of emotional maturity in your reading, which doesn't surprise me. Most Virgos are super level-headed. But yeah, you're really seeing this for what it is. And, when this person comes in and apologizes, it does bring justice to the situation. So, like, you have the Justice card crossing, this Champion of Cups, Hanged Man energy, and the Four of Wands. So, it's going to bring balance and harmony and make things right that were done wrong to you, right? When this apology comes in, it brings in like the universal balance, right? I see justice as a karma card. It's a card of restoring balance to what was done wrong, right? So I do strongly feel like there's an apology coming in for you this week if it hasn't already. And it has to do with this person that really betrayed you and broke your heart. But I don't see you forgiving them. I see you just getting away from the situation and understanding, both aspects of it. So, yeah, that's what I have for you this week, Virgo. If that message resonates, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I would truly appreciate the support and have an awesome day. Bye, all mystics.